What's up, kittens and intergalactic family? Welcome back. I did try for the first two recordings to have a catchphrase, something to introduce the channel repetitively. And you know what? Sometimes I forget my own words. So I feel like I just want to say hi in the beginning of these experiences. It's like I'm dropping into other realms. And I'm like, I want to capture this really quick. So I wanted to share, this sharing of this particular story on my journey out of codependency into codependency. There was a short blip of time where oh man, okay, I'm excited to tell this story because it's absolutely incredibly ridiculous. And I say that it's absolutely ridiculous because for whatever reason, my soul contracted to have this particular experience happen, which I LOL. At the time, it was absolutely terrifying. I was like, what in the actual heck is happening? Like, it was, okay. So this was triggered because the other day, if you've seen any of my vlogs, I have camping chairs always with me as like a digital nomad. Yes, we are joined by this guy, Mr. James. I bring these camping chairs everywhere with me. Like, sometimes in the hotel rooms, like, I don't want to sit on their chairs, so I'll just pop up my camping chair in the room. Always being able to sit outside. I've gone to so many concerts where last minute they're like, oh yeah, you can bring in chairs. Bring the chairs, bring the blanket. Like the camping chairs, even if you just had one, $10, Dick's Sporting Goods, one chair. I got two in hopes to manifest in, experiences with other people. They're like, hey, you want to sit in this chair? Which, I mean, my brother enjoyed the chair. You can check out, we went to this boating regalia. That was interesting. And we had the chairs, which we were grateful for because it was it wasn't exactly the warmest at that time. So we didn't have to sit on the floor, on the ground, in the cold. Because it was also damp. It's like the water. Anyways, I digress. So, yesterday, maybe the day before, definitely yesterday, I noticed the pest guy was here, so I always assumed that there may be a few ancestors coming out, aka cockroaches. And I grew up in the era where Joe Rogan did not have intellectual conversations with many people. Instead, he was on Fear Factor telling people to get into tubs of cockroaches. As a developing frontal lobe as a child, tween, that was absolutely terrifying for me. So that stuck with me for a really long time. Then I had the experience when I lived in New York City, roaches, also bed bugs. It was an experience I was like, what is going on? I just could not understand. I think it was a worthiness thing. I feel like this is just coming to me, perhaps energetically. Neville Goddard talks about this, Kim Velez talks about this, Law of Attraction talks about this idea of you can always manifest things in, and then if your worthiness cannot sustain that new energetic frequency of reality, it will go away. This has happened multiple times to me. I literally manifested my dream townhouse, manifested it out in 4 months. And in a very chaotic sense as well. Like, I had the coolest office space, like, within the townhouse. Like, it was just super dope. So anyways, rewind. So I find this cockroach outside. Anticipated the pest guy was here. However, I thought the cockroach, the ancestor. I call them the ancestors. I mean, I was reading a little bit about a cockroach before I started recording. They did studies where they put these cockroaches in a microwave and they can literally like withstand a nuclear war. Like, it's absolutely incredible. They can also last, I don't know if it was 1 week or 1 month. Please support me in Google because I don't remember the exact duration. Without their head, because their body can absorb water from all areas. What the heck? These are some dynamic ancestors we have here living alongside of us. So they're also known to multiply. So what I have done, I'm digressing a little bit. What I have done is I call them the ancestors, and when I see them, I no longer freak out. I have built an energetic relationship with the cockroach, the ancestor, by saying abundance, because that's a symbol that they have is abundance. This has helped me a lot since this originating story of when I realized that something was askew in my reality of why I would manifest in this experience. Here we go. So I decide that I'm going to leave where I was like living and drive to Arizona to work as a travel special ed teacher. I'm like, this is it. I'm going to go. Motorcycle. I'm going to go. I got this job. I need to learn how to live on my own. Solo. No roommates. I need to go by myself. I need to be an adult. So I go to Arizona. I find this apartment that looks so dope. I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, boo. I'm doing it. I just drove across country. I had so much fun. I did like all these different pit stops. My car is just like packed with my stuff. Yeah, like shout out to my car. Although, and this is just a quick caveat, I love my car. It is very fun to drive. However, there was a recall on this car and I was not the original owner, and therefore I did not get the memo in time. And unfortunately, even though I reached out to the manufacturer, they did not want to hear me because I was outside of the time frame that I asked about the car. I had even asked, like, can they just extend the warranty on my car? I was willing to negotiate, you know? So anyways, that's neither here nor there. This car, though, literally, we have been through so much. I frequently wish that I had taken a picture with every single person who ever has sat in the front seat of Vader. Yes, I got this car during the time that I was learning about Star Wars. Shout out to one of my besties for allowing me to use their content, their library, to be able to learn about pop culture. Very cool. Very generous. Anyways, so I'm like, woo! I arrive to the apartment. I'm excited. I get the keys. I take a picture of me holding the key. I'm like, yes, yes. You know, I was like, oh, I'm super clever. I'm going to order the bed on the way there, so then that way it can arrive and they'll receive it. So then I at least have my bed and all that, and my sheets and, stuff like for this place. And I move some stuff in. I'm doing this. I'm like I'm just by myself. And it's me and my car and all my stuff. And I literally moved to Arizona. Anyways, so I go out to get some things. My partner at the time sends me Indian food that I put in the refrigerator. And then I had left my laptop on the counter and I had put on music. I was like, oh, I'll do this, shut the blinds, people will think someone's in here. I don't know where I am. I just got here. I just moved there. I go to the stores, do whatever. I come back. I'm like, yes, I got Indian food. Maybe it was Thai food. I feel like I had received. What are those? Now I can't think of it. A Thai iced tea. I love Thai iced teas. I've had some really good creamy ones and I've had some really watery ones. Oh, the one in Fort Bragg, California, inside the shopping mall area. There is a place that will make very good Thai iced tea. Highly recommend. So good. I'm thinking of it right now. And then in the front, I believe there's like a little, I feel like it's an ice cream shop. It's super cute. They have like on the ground, I think it's like a peace sign, a heart, and a coffee cup with a little, just like a super, super, honestly, it's super cute up there. NorCal, visiting the little towns off of US 1. Highly recommend. You want to be super romantic? You go there. Trust me. And go to Princess Seafood. Get the oysters. Go out to the back. There's going to be a line. You just go out to the back. Order your food, go out to the back. Enjoy yourself. You're welcome. Trust me. If you go, I want to know. Tell me what you thought about the oysters. Okay, anyways. So I come back to this apartment, jazzed. I think I got to Target somewhere. I just remember I was like, I'm an adult. I'm going to be buying, because I was always very health conscious of, I still remain similarly of trying to use as much natural products as possible. So wherever I went, I had gotten the natural brand. Please keep that in mind because I'm going to circle back to that very quickly. So I go in and I turn on the lights. And all the ancestors were with me. I'm talking about there were cockroaches on the floor. There were cockroaches on my bags. There was cockroaches on the ceiling. So what did I do? I was like, I'm going to get them. I go over to the kitchen, after I finally maybe this is my version of the Joe Rogan. Maybe I can let this fear go because I used to think about the Joe Rogan having to go in the tub. Maybe this was my version because they were crawling everywhere. I go over to the counter to my laptop. There's hundreds, it felt like, an invasion of little baby cockroaches everywhere. I open the fridge, there's cockroaches in the refrigerator. Everywhere I went, cockroach. No. I had put a significant amount of my stuff out of my car and into that place. This was purge number 1. No, this was purge number 2 because when I left where I was living, I wanted minimal items left in my home state. I said, I need to be cut down. From a secular sense of the experience, it is a little bumming out for me because I did have some. Now I look back and I had some very cool sneakers that would have transcended the time. And I think about these one pair, they were so cool. Actually, they might have been my ex-partners and I was just wearing them. I don't think they were Air Force Ones. They had like this teal inner lining and this sort of like teal and purpley like swirl of colors on the outside. The Nike sign also had like, I think, a backdrop color. I freaking love those sneakers. They did not make it. Anyhow, I digress into the world of clothes and sneakers. So yeah, this place is covered in cockroaches. I'm alarmed. I call my partner at the time. Okay, to be fair, one of my partners at the time. I call them up. They're literally on an airplane. I was like, I don't know why I was instructed to call you immediately. I need some help. I'm on the FaceTime with the new natural. I was, this is the time I'm wishing it was bleach. With the natural spray, trying to, I don't know. I'm thinking of the carnival game where you have like the moving pieces and you gotta like hit the target so they flop down. So you get a big stuffed animal. Like that's what I felt like. I was just like trying to aim all over the place. Wild. It was absolutely incredibly disturbing. So finally, for whatever reason, my partner at the time, I'm so grateful for their groundedness and levelness in this experience, because can you imagine receiving this phone call, FaceTime actually, on an airplane? Me, you're watching your partner through a little screen, literally trying to squirt down like cockroaches from the ceiling. I don't know, like I panicked. I absolutely panicked. Instead of being like, well, now I guess I could say this, of like, okay, something is not okay here energetically. This does equal abundance, and this also is excessive right now. I also, when I was looking it up, it meant resiliency because they can withstand a nuclear war. Will quickly say that if you have not seen Oppenheimer, go see Oppenheimer. It is a very great movie. It is 3 hours, surprise. So plan that accordingly, because I'm like of the lifestyle that I don't want to go to the movies after 6 because I get tired in the movie theater. Like, I have a very routine life, a very disciplined life. So trying to take me out to something that is innately comfortable. I do not watch horror movies, so I'm not trying to be scared out of my mind. So my cortisol is calmer, chilling. I need to get a drink. Right now, the best case is this coffee. It is bulletproof coffee. I added olive oil today. I kept seeing this, so I was like, what did Dave Asprey say? And he said, I watched a little video about it. He said that he suggested taking a shot of olive oil and then drinking coffee because he had funded, I'm glad he gave the disclaimer, because he did initiate the research for a science experiment to determine whether or not adding oil, like what did the oil do? And it helps. I think he used the word pharmacokinetics. I really like that word. I can assume what this means. I do not know the exact definition. However, I do think it's a pretty cool word. All right, anyways, quickly, back to the cockroach experience. So thankfully, my partner at the time was calm and steadfast because they were able to support me with immediately getting me out of the apartment. and getting me into an Airbnb for a couple of nights. I am forever grateful, because I don't even think I would have. I was just so beside myself of just the sheer quantity of cockroaches. Oh, and then later on, after, I met the girl who used to be in there, and she was like, yeah, I had to leave to go to another apartment in the other side of the place because she had a baby, and this place was filled with cockroaches. She said it all the time. Can you imagine? I was like so very grateful that I was able to be extracted. I had the experience. It was like, okay, we're going to quantum leap real quick. I felt like the universe punted me into adulthood. And thankfully, like, I had somebody around me, because again, I just was flabbergasted of what the experience was evolving into. It was like, of all the things that get to the, I guess that's the case, the universe. Well, this is actually the blessing in disguise, because I did not hold on to that, and I surrendered to whoever would catch me, which I was relying on my ex-partner at that time, got me into a super dope room share situation. So I had the experience of, receiving the apartment and doing that, and then going into like an adult room share, which was super fun and cool within itself. And again, I purged a lot of things, because a lot of things I had to throw out, because at that apartment, I was not at the apartment for like a week and waiting for them to spray again. And when I went back, there was cockroaches everywhere. I mean, thankfully I was able to get out of that situation. Yes, I did receive a refund among signing an NDA. So I'm just sharing my lived experience, no details. And I was catapulted into this room share. Then within weeks, the world shut down. So I was able to still be super, super flexible with the universe. And it bounced me into a city that I would have never even gone to. And then when I looked at my carto astrology, the map of the astrological map based on, I'm not really 100% sure of the science. All I know is that the location that I got moved to was highly significant. Like, it was incredibly close to the one line that talked about like healing mother wounds. So anyways, you can just like search in Google. What is that website? Astro something. Like, you can do carto, astrology map. So anyways, it put me in a position, and then I got to do a lot of things. So anyways, the purpose of this is talking about that experience of, I had to surrender so many times to leapfrog myself into certain levels of being able to withstand and hold like manifestations that I had wanted or thought that I had desired. And after that experience with the cockroaches, now I see that there were things that I had to learn to really trust that it was going to work out, because why would I have gotten, like, I always tongue-tie this like sentiment of, I already came this far to come this far, or something of that sort of like, I've already done all this work. I've already intended all these things. So I'm going to stay the course, because even if I perceive the past to be what I would fall into, there's other timelines that have happened between then and now. the awareness has shifted from those moments. So I don't think that it goes backwards. I think it continues forwards and very much becomes distorted. So it becomes perhaps an over emotionalized experience of whether it was super abuse or super romanticized or super whatever that like primal initial emotion that comes to mind is the glasses that are of those past experiences. So I don't think it would be the same. And I cannot say that I'm the only one in that experience that has had a mindset shift based off of, it's not like everyone around me pauses their life. The timelines continue. The momentum in everyone's experience continues. So it's not a rewinding. It's still, it almost feels like a rushing nesting doll. Like you have that initial timeline and then you have that always, and then a new doll goes on top to represent the past, which is really colored by each party's remembrance of that moment, and then the actual experience. Okay. I'm going to end with this. This cockroach that is in my current reality is alive, which shocked me, which is why I ended up going on to the internet to learn a little bit more about these ancestors, because I was stunned to notice that it was not the wind that was causing this. Well, the wind was moving the body around. Its antennas and little legs are moving. Now, I am the type of person now that will collect a cockroach and put them outside. I am already outside. So I have been debating whether or not I'm flipping this guy. Or do I just... Because honestly, I don't know. I don't want to interfere with this experience, of this consciousness. I'm not certain that, honestly, I'm not certain if I am karmically to decide whether or not this cockroach gets another chance. I'm still working through it. Anyways, that's my cockroach story. Fresh out of where I grew up, into an apartment of cockroaches, to hopscotch, to a room share, to move in with my ex-partner, and the world shuts down. Whoa. And yes, the place where I was living, not like where I was living, like the region of where I was living, was one of those places. Like Miami is known for cockroaches. The deserts are known for cockroaches. Like there are just some places that they thrive. And I happen to end up in one of those places. So very quickly, I needed to rationalize why these ancestors wanted to continue to be in my reality. What were they showing me? And now, when I see them, I scream abundance. I've done this in public around people I do not know and people I do know. And I'm telling you, at first people are shocked. And I'm like, listen, I cannot put the fear anymore out there towards these ancestors. They're resilient. They have tenacity. They've been here forever. Like, do you know? I don't know. you will know if this resonates, which I think is pretty cool as well. Like, I can just speak my truth, and it either is going to resonate with the frequency of your soul or it's not. And at the end of the day, it's groovy either way. I'm grateful that you're willing to hold the space to consider my point of view on what I felt like sharing at this moment in time, space, reality for me. It's pretty dope. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, I did want to make this comment and then I'm headed out. Where I'm living has a grapefruit tree, and I love grapefruit. And I have just felt so abundant that I've had the opportunity to be able to go over to this tree and have a grapefruit every day from the land that I am staying on. It's so amazing. It's so magical. And I manifest a world where this is the experience for everybody, to have the experience of witnessing the seasons of changing, not only in oneself, also in the land around them. And see that there's always an abundance. There's always a harmony to be had through gratitude and love and affirmation and acknowledgement. It is just so beautiful to see all the time. A fruit tree, just full of life and color and nourishment. I do manifest for this to be for everyone's experience. In any case, I am feeling very blessed and very grateful for the opportunity to have this moment of this fresh grapefruit juice, which I will be indulging in once I put this phone down. Yeah. Okay, friends and family. I want to list everything, like starseed, indigo child, all of those. It's pretty cool. Oh, I just learned that Ethiopia has a 13-month calendar. That kind of shook me a little bit, because it reminded me of Arizona. Like, they don't participate in daylight savings. Like, just areas of the world that just decide, no, I'm not participating by the majority rules, status quo mindset. A whole country. And my friends, I mean, I'm saying this with loving kindness. Africa is a continent, not a country. And I feel like it's important to state of all the differences within the countries, from the macro to the micro, and then to consider all of the tribes and culture and customs and dialect within each of those countries. It's phenomenal. So, as a special education teacher, I feel like I can say these things matter of factly. This is not legal or financial advice or medical advice. You know, Americans can engage in a high level of litigious behaviors. I think it's like, what's coming to me is perhaps in that sense, it's an attempt to outwit, outsmart, use the brain rather than the body to have a power over people. Moral indignation. Someone has entered into my reality. In any case, blessings and abundance to you all. May you have a beautiful day. I feel like the Truman Show right now. Good morning. Paraphrasing, because I don't know the exact words. Good morning, good evening, and if I don't see you later, good night.